What's up, funkies? Welcome to today's show. What is this? Show? Is that right? Is this a show? So I don't even know where to begin with today's tale. Basically, I was dwelling on what the subject of my next video would be, and I was stressing major balls. I mean, this is oddball banter. We don't focus on one subject or genre. We hop around the plane of content like a nomad. This isn't no man's land. This is nomad's land. There are so many ideas and events to cover, and knowing that everyone has different tastes but still trying to find a balance where you can connect with a large and diverse audience without being too incoherent and unthemed, it's no small task. For all those successful content creators that have managed to do it, hats off to you. So I was hanging around, wrecking this little noggin of mine, and my girlfriend, who is also one of my current 13 subscribers, so no bias, suggests that I review the Tinder Swindler. She says to me, it's so popular and it's so big in the news. Everyone's talking about it. It'll expose you to a new audience. And I'm just thinking, bruh, I don't want to watch this garbage of how some dude conned women to bag a few pounds. I know how it goes. We all do. If anyone has access to the internet, we are well aware of how scams work. It's nothing new or groundbreaking. Look, and that's not to say that scams haven't become more elaborate and specialized. I mean, some of these dudes really know their RT. For example, just the other day I got a message directly from my bank, or at least in the same feed of messages, saying that my online banking has been suspended due to fraudulent activity. And I'm like, what? And being naturally neurotic about these things, I was already a little bit suspicious. But anyways, just to investigate, I click on the link and it redirects me to the bank's apparent website. And holy smokes, was this thing well done. The layout was almost identical to that of the actual bank's website, with almost every detail matching it to the T. But do you know who I am, scammers? Huh? You can't fool me. I'm like a detective with these works. My intuition is like Muhammad Ali's jab. Never misses. Anyways, I noticed that the URL had .com in it instead of .ie for Ireland. To any of my Irish viewers, what's up, pal?
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine.
And so I deduced that it was a scam, only to have it confirmed by my girlfriend a couple days later, who had the exact same message sent to her just a few days prior. Thanks for the heads up, love. And you, Irish banks, get your ducks in a row and up your security. Anyways, my thoughts are branching out and I'm going off track. The point is, I know how scams work. I'm not some 90-year-old grandpa. So my desire to watch the Tinder Swindler was subatomic, basically at plank's length. I was under the impression that it was going to be the same old in the world of scams. I mean, I was also on online dating and international chat rooms at one point. You are bound to encounter some stinky fish in that pond, just like anywhere else. So yeah, minimal interest. However, it kept coming up, and one day I mustered up the strength to watch it over lunch. And I have to admit, I was pretty captivated. So there, I admit it. Even geniuses can be wrong. Now, the documentary consists fundamentally of 3 main interviews with women, all of who were victims of this professional trickster, Simon Leviev, whose real name is Shimon Yehuda Hayut. This guy changed his name from Shimon to Simon. Very original. It shows how he lured them into this false sense of security and eventually manipulated them into taking out these massive loans for him, and so on and so forth. It shows us how he swindled them. Okay, the name says it all. The thing is, watching the story blew my mind. I mean, people know, dude. What is going on? I can't even express my frustrations. I mean, right off the bat, the fact that people can be so cruel and sociopathic, so absorbed in themselves and just completely unconcerned with the well-being of others and how they affect them. It's sickening. There really are some rotten people in this world, just completely void of humanity. And then on the other end, we have the naivety and the empty-headedness of some people. I mean, what is inside that noodle of yours? Do some people have noodles in their noodle? Noodles for brains. And look, I understand to a certain degree, when feelings are involved, nothing is simple. Affairs of the heart are incredibly complex, so this is something that I do bear in mind. I'm not saying that the women who were conned had an easy way out. My main critique isn't concerned with why they struggled to get out of their situation, but why they were in it in the first place. Now, I'm going to tackle a couple problems over here, but I just want to make it clear. I am not trying to be nasty or make a mockery of anyone. But we obviously have to be realistic if we are going to determine what went wrong and why, and have a look at the situation honestly and see how it reflects the nature of our society. So the documentary kicks off, and right away we're told how difficult it is to meet people in the real world, and the best way to meet people is online. No, it's a way to meet people. And regarding Tinder, I hate Tinder. I had Tinder at one stage, and let me tell you, it is rank. Go look at any meme concerning Tinder. It's notorious for being yucky. Now, I am not at all saying that every single person who uses Tinder is a shoddy noddy. Not at all. But the stereotype is there for a reason. You either have to be very naive, in denial, or have a crazy level of optimism to go love hunting on Tinder. I know one couple that has had a successful relationship through Tinder, and they're like half a century. Real oldie maloldies. But if there are any of you out there that have established a solid relationship through Tinder, well done. You broke the system. No, really, I'm happy for you. And I'm not hating on online dating. That's how I met my girlfriend. But it sure as donkeys wasn't on Tinder. It was on an MBTI site. Dude, focus. I'm drowning in my thoughts. So our first interviewee is Cecilia. And she's been on Tinder for 7 years looking for love. 7 years on Tinder. And if that isn't telling enough, she has over 1,000 matches. Dude, that is mind-boggling. Okay, but let's give her the benefit of the doubt and say of the 1,024 matches, she only met up with 10%, which I think is pretty generous. That is still over 100 people and dates. It's abnormal. It's not natural to go through that many people, man or woman. So to suggest that Cecilia was looking purely for love is preposterous. So anyways, Cecilia and Simon match on Tinder, and she discovers through research that he's apparently the heir to the throne of some diamond mogul billionaire. This definitely influences her decisions. I'm not going to even try and dodge that. Upon chatting, he reveals that he's leaving the next day and would like to meet up for a quick coffee before he hits the road. Cool, I get it. Maybe he's just a nice guy with a busy schedule, okay? Let's give him the benefit of the doubt. So they meet in this fancy hotel, have an hour-long conversation, alright? And then he offers her to travel with him and his crew to Bulgaria via his private jet. Any normal person with the slightest bit of insight would surely say no, right? This is too peculiar. Not for this chick. She hot-tails it and grabs this opportunity like it's a bottle of water in the desert. So just terrible judgment. Or a lust for the high life. Who knows? Maybe both. I can tell you right now that no amount of magnetism would make me hop onto a plane with someone I met an hour ago and their group of people. It's not happening. To emphasize the lunacy of this situation, the mother of this man's child is also on the plane with him. And she can't stop emphasizing what a great man he is. Am I the anomaly here? Or is this just not super weird? 50 Shades of Strange. If he's so great, why aren't you still together? And why are you even on this trip? There's just so much that is wrong here. But anyways, after just one day of high living and getting kinky, he organizes her a flight home because he's busy. There are so many red flags here. It's actually ridiculous. So this is an ongoing theme, alright? This is how he lures people in. He shows himself to be this insanely busy, ridiculously successful businessman and has the resources to back it up. So people are deceived purely by their senses. What you see is what you get. No questioning, no suspicions, nothing. It's just, well, he's not lying about having money, so he must be an honest man. Zero intuition. So Cecilia isn't even the only victim in this tale. Not even close. But continuing with her, they stay in contact and build an emotional connection. They grow closer. He spends a good amount of money on her, sends her gifts and flowers, and pops in from overseas via his private jet just to visit her for a quick cup of coffee, rich people stuff. Now, after luring her in, and everyone else really, he starts to up his tactics. He starts opening up about how dangerous his lifestyle is and how he's got so many enemies and blah, blah, blah. I just want to say that this is one of the dangers of trying to rush a relationship and being too hasty. It is so vital from the outset to know what type of person you're dealing with, what their values are, and to just take it easy.
Hey, take it easy.
It helps because it sets a foundation for what's to be expected. It helps prevent you from being manipulated at a later stage. You would have grounds for questioning if later, suddenly, all these bizarre secrets start to pop up. You know what to expect, as does your counterpart. It makes it very, very difficult for you to be manipulated. I'm not saying it's easy, but it leaves you much better off. So just wait a while before you hop into someone's private jet. Right, back to the story. So Simon has enemies, okay? And as he grows closer to the victims, his enemies become more prominent. But this is where things get really wacky. And common sense, well, it was never there to begin with. So it's just wandering the universe somewhere. Simon is living the high life, right? He's partying, he's drinking, he's flying all over the world, mingling with all types of people, posting on social media, sharing his WhatsApp location, everything. But his enemies are after him and he fears for his life. Does nobody pick up on this? Also, he shares pictures of bullets and funeral flowers being sent to him in the mail. That has to be the corniest thing I've ever seen. Real gangsters do not operate like that. If your life was in such danger, you wouldn't be getting bullets in the mail. You'd be getting bullets in the body. So yeah, these tricks are just goofy. Another stupid tactic that actually worked. Simon was with one of the women when his bodyguard calls him and says, "Your life is in danger and we have a private plane waiting to pick you up." But he can't tell him where he's going because his enemies are tapped into the line and he doesn't want to give the location away for security reasons. So Simon leaves the country, and upon arriving in whatever new country he's in, he sends his WhatsApp location to the woman he just left. So his guard couldn't share his location via a phone call for security reasons, obviously. But Simon can share his location via WhatsApp. Noodles for brains. Then he bombs the woman and others with pictures and videos of his slightly bloodied bodyguard after an apparent knife attack. There is a little bit of blood and a gash on the guard's head, which is a very tame outcome for a knife attack. Baru Jack had a worse gash from a headbutt. But anyways, it creates hysteria. But why is he bombing you with messages, pictures and videos, going back and forth on WhatsApp as opposed to just calling you? None of this adds up. Simon later proceeds to ask if he can borrow the girl's credit cards because his is being traced by his enemies. Another absurd detail that baffles me. This guy is the son of a billionaire. He has friends and partners in high places. Why on earth would he go to his middle-class girlfriend for financial help? Why not daddy? Why not your pals and buddies? Why not your friends and partners? Surely they have a little bit of change to spare. Nope, this was never questioned. And it comes up throughout the entire documentary as well, where he keeps emphasizing that he doesn't have anyone else to help him and that he needs the help of whatever victim he's scamming to support him with money. Dude, come on. It cannot be that easy. And that's basically the gist of it. Now the victim is trapped and he's maxing out their credit cards and getting them to take out loans from different banks because they're all under the impression that he's going to give them back the money. You know, they've bought this stupid story about how his enemies are after him and he's unable to use his card, so on and so forth. And then, when they reach breaking point and they can't take out any more money, heavily indebted, he writes them a false check or gives them false assets to cash in and disappears. A scumbag deluxe. And it's the same story with every victim, and not all of them were even romantic partners. There were guys who worked for him, people he made friends out of, whatever, but he used the same tactics every time and people just kept buying it. Watching this documentary was bemusing. The first thing that popped into me old nut was, what is wrong with people? What is going on in this world? Let's start with Simon the scoundrel. The man is clearly deranged, a pathological liar, a sociopath, probably some other things as well. I mean, when things weren't going according to plan, he displayed personality shifts that would have made Kevin Wendell Crumb from Split raise an eyebrow. The man should be institutionalized. It is alleged that he conned people out of an approximate $10 million. That is putrid, the damage that this man has done to people, emotionally, mentally, financially. It's insane. No guilt, no concern, just full-on demented narcissism. People like this are actually real. Horrifying. And they caught him. They found the bugger. He was sentenced to 15 months and released after 5. Yes, you heard right. A convicted international criminal and con man who stole around $10 million was essentially given a slap on the wrist. That is a mockery of justice. And he's living life. He popped right back into high society like a whack-a-mole. Just boing, bing, bop, hey, round 2. So that aspect is really messed up. Especially considering that the people he duped are still trying to pay off their debts. And it shocks me that they took so long to catch him. And post his arrest, they just let him free. It's warped. Furthermore, some people are even justifying his actions and insisting that he did nothing wrong, claiming that he avenged men by exposing gold diggers. Dude, what planet are you living on? You have to be on some serious goof juice to think that this dude was justified. The man is an absolute plonker. If you think what he did was justified or acceptable, you need a serious morality check, my friend. Also, he scammed male friends and employees as well. It wasn't just women. And, hypothetically speaking, even if they were after his money, you know the old saying, 2 wrongs don't make a right. It is insanity to justify bad behavior as a response to bad behavior. That right there is a spirit of vengeance. And I feel sorry for those kinds of people. That is a quick and ugly path to darkness. Stay in the light, my friends. And for my final point, this documentary highlights the superficiality of the world's culture. There is this terrible urge for instant gratification, and it manifests in a number of ways. For example, I am still flabbergasted that Cecilia has 1,024 matches on Tinder. I haven't encountered that many people in my entire life, let alone matched with on a dating app. Cecilia herself claimed that she loves dating. Couple that with the stats and we can only assume that, there was a lot of hopping around from partner to partner. She even reveals that she slept with Simon after only knowing him for just a day. There seems to be no satisfaction with commitment. There's always something new and something more exciting. And, ironically, out of all the people she matched with, the one that she felt she gelled with the most just happened to be Mr. Money himself. And that is the theme of this culture that is obsessed with serial monogamy. And it goes all ways. The entire world does it. Nobody is satisfied with anything for too long. People go through partners like they're flipping through TV stations. It is such a precarious way of life, but it's so prominent in our society. I understand that not everyone you go on a date with is going to knock your socks off. But surely you don't have to go through hundreds of people to find someone. And if you do, then maybe you're going on a date with the wrong person. Or for the wrong reasons. Take your time, relax, meet and befriend people before you get intimate. I know that we're flawed and it isn't always that simple, but I'm pretty sure it helps to some degree. Remember, folks, love is more than just a fleeting emotion. Don't confuse it with infatuation. Love lasts, infatuation fades. And to keep chasing it with different people is like a drug addiction. Feels good when you get that dose, but it's a path to destruction, both for yourself and others. So, there's my lesson in philosophy for today. But friends, fret not, 'tis but a wonderful life we live. Be wary of shady characters, but do good to those that you can and live life with passion. Yeah! Inspiration! That sums it all up. If you've made it to this point, you're a star, like the hydrogen gas giant. Want to see me talk about some more things and share some stories? Well, please like, subscribe, hit that notification bell for a little ring-a-ding-ding, and you should see me in a short while. Thanks, funkies. Stay odd, but always good. Thumbs up.